everybody, good morning, happy Wednesday, and welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host, and Disembodied Hands, Quindy, Disembodied Beard, John, and, well, all of you. Hello, hello. How are you guys today? It's getting warm out today here. It's starting to inch toward the 80s. We're supposed to hit the 80s on Thursday. Oh, ears glued, yeah. Yeah. Ears glued is annoying. It's just annoying. I had to, I didn't do the glue with Kiri because she didn't have long fur because she wasn't a plush. So, we did the ear brace on the inside of the ear, which is also a pain. So, you know, whatever works. Do you like the floppy-eared look, Kodiak? Or did you just want to do it a different way? I know one of my puppy people really love the floppy ears. Like, they're just like, no, we're going to keep him this way. I don't want to Kiri's puppies. He was a real sweetheart. It was perfect look for him because he was a big love bug. Hey, Varl. Wow, long time no talk. 5 miles. Nice. Good job, Kerniko. Good job. I am once again toying with the idea of taking up running. I think I found a running system that will work for me. Oh, when the ears don't come up on their own, Twisted Oma, which actually is, you know, something that happens with Shiloh Shepherds, because we just have breeds behind us that are not strong ears. You can glue the little bits of fur on the inside to each other, so it's kind of a conehead look to try to encourage the ears to stand. What happens is sometimes if the puppy has heavy ears or if they stay down a long time, a little crease gets formed in the cartilage. So the idea is that by putting the ears up together, that you will eliminate that crease. It's purely cosmetic. And it honestly isn't. You're not like gluing like the skin of the ears. You're just like taking the fur and just kind of gluing a few strands together so the ears stay up. Yeah. It is purely cosmetic, but in a breeding dog, like, or if you want to show, then it's important. Like, I know Kodiak had gone, I know his wife was interested in showing and they'd gone to a dog show, but after a certain age, if you don't have upright ears, you're disqualified. So it is cosmetic. No, just temp. Yeah, you just want it to stay for long enough to hopefully get rid of the crease in the cartilage and have your dog's ears stand up. Especially if the puppies had ears up, like while they were teething and stuff. Like, a lot of puppies have their ears go up and then they go down, and if you get that crease, they won't go back up. That was Kiri. But yeah, like, normally, even when you do the inside of the ear one, which I did, you use colonoscopy skin glue. So it's like, you know, as non-irritant as you can get it, and then you use a little bit of, like, breathe right strips or moleskin, and you put it in there to help. Again, just to help the ear, give it a little extra help. But yeah, otherwise Kiri would have been 1 ear up, 1 ear down. I could never have showed her, so I did the ear thing, and it was for 3 weeks, and her ear stood, so. Oh no, the horrible stuff they do to Dobermans, just don't even, yeah. Yeah, no, Dobermans, they actually use, like, tampons and, like tape the ear all around it and, or little, like, cardboard dowels or something, and that's after they actually trim off part of the ear, right? Which is not the whole point here. Yeah. So this is all as, essentially, we don't ever alter any part of the dog's ears. We're just trying to give them a little extra support so that they'll stand up. Yeah, that's how most Shiloh Shepherds are, Twisted Oma, is they go up and down. But then if they've gone up at all, they tend to stay up. Yeah, for sure. So you're in pretty hilly country, Kerniko, right? So, I mean, you didn't, like, obviously stay on for the bike for the huge, long, evil hill, but in general, you're biking in hill country, right? Am I right on that? Or is it flat around you and you have to bike to get to the hills? I wish we had more hills around here. Like, walking is very flat around here. That's why I'm thinking about the running thing. All right, let's go and do our blue, and I need my card to remind me of my blue. Oh, right. Ritterlick and a little bit of that turquoise. Right. I wasn't like sitting here. Where is my turquoise? Where is my turquoise? There it is. Oh, writing courses, yeah. You have found yourself a writing club. Oh no! Well, in my case, I would be thrilled to know that, but yeah. "10 miles from some hills, so to get to some hills you have to bike the 10 miles. Well, that's a warm-up, right? That's a warm-up bike for the hills. I actually looked up, I got a book yesterday that was like running till you're 100, and its whole point is that, you know, it's a good form of exercise and it can help you, you know, stay good and active and, you know, brain good and everything. He's an Olympian, an ex-Olympian, and he's coached a crap ton, like hundreds of thousands of people over the years. And his thing is a run, walk, run. So his point is that, you know, if you want to preserve your joints and not have a lot of pounding, so he wants you to run at a very easy pace, and he wants you to actually alternate walking and running. So, like, he does marathons with his wife, and they'll do, like, 15 to 30 seconds running, and then they'll do, like, 15 seconds walking, and then they'll go and run again, and then they'll walk again, and they'll do the whole marathon that way. And he actually has gotten, as he gets older, because he's in his 80s now, but he's gotten better times from doing it that way than from trying to run for longer periods where he gets very tired. And you, essentially the point is that you don't exhaust yourself, you still feel good, and you get all the good benefits with like a lot less of the wear and tear on your joints and stuff. Oh, very muddy. Oh yeah, that makes sense, Korniko. Yeah, bikes in mud, not so good. So yeah, it's the the run walk run method, and I'm thinking seriously. I even located the closest running track to me last night, which is actually really close, like 15 minutes. 15 minutes I can walk there. All right, let's get our blue sorted out here. We want to do our 4 drops of Ritterlich plus 1 drop of turquoise, maybe 2, as I recall, and then 1 drop of white. Yeah, that's his point, is that, yeah, and you can scale it up to that, Arrow is, right? You can scale it up. He's like, you could do up to like a 2-minute 30-second. That's the top end of what he recommends, is like a 2 minutes running, 30-second walk. But obviously, like for me, I can't run for 2 minutes without without totally being winded and blown out. So for me, it would be a way to work up to that. Yeah. And it just seems like it saves your joints a bit better. It gives you better recovery. You aren't destroyed by the end of the run, even if you run for long distances. So it all sounds great. And as I'm getting older, and part of the point of doing all this exercise is to like stay mobile and functional until I'm 100, which is my goal. I like the whole attitude behind this. So that is what I'm thinking of doing. I made a little schedule, because I'm always kind of a split mind what to do on my off days from CrossFit. And some people say just rest, but a lot of people will say that a little bit of aerobic activity is okay. So I think I'm going to take like Wednesday and Sunday off, or no, Wednesday and Monday off, and do Friday and Sunday I'll try to do some running and see how that does it. Because Sunday, that means I have all day. I can walk over to that track. Friday, I'll probably just stay in my neighborhood. Oh, did you know if you go on Google Maps, you can figure out the distance that a street is? I was so tickled by this yesterday. I was playing with it. Because I was trying to figure out, obviously I could look at my Fitbit and find out how long my normal walk does as far as distance. But I went on the Googs and I actually figured out, like, if I want to train up to running 400 meters, which is the standard for CrossFit, like you always, when you're doing rounds, you're always doing 400 meters at a time. So I figured out which 2 streets I run down add up to 400 meters. So that was amusing to me. But you can just do clicky dots and it'll tell you how long the streets are. So when I was trying to map out a route, I figured out what route would give me exactly a mile. Yay! Yay! Isn't it fun, Kuro? I like figuring out all the distances. They actually recommend shuffling Twisted Oma. As you get older, like, the point is to not lift your feet hardly at all. He's like, all you need is an inch clearance. Yeah, exactly. You've got a lot of things that you have to, like, kind of figure out, Twisted Oma. Honestly, Twisted Oma, I just think working up to longer walks in your case would be just fine. Especially because you're hauling all that stuff. That adds calorie burn. Weren't you trying to gain weight, though? Like, didn't your doctor have some concerns about, like, you keeping weight on? I don't remember. I remember you talking about that, like, last year or the year before, how you were struggling to actually, like, get to a good weight. As far as you were too low. Hey, Roger. 3 mile. I can't even, yeah. I usually walk a little bit, like, I walk about 1.5 miles a night. And I throw a couple of jogs in there. But now I'm thinking I'm going to do it a little bit more mindfully and, like, try to work up to a run. Because my kind of long-term goal is to be able to do, like, CrossFit, like, to be able to do every movement in CrossFit, right? Even if I have to scale the weights, that's okay. But I want to be able to do everything. I want to be able to do a pull-up. I want to be able to do a toes to bar. I want to be able to do a 400-meter run. So being able to just do those things is the goal. Let's see here. And then I want to do turquoise. This 2 brushfuls of what we've got here. Okay, so that's our mixture of Ritter Lake Blue, 4 drops, 2 drops of turquoise, and 1 drop of white. Then we're going to pop a couple brushfuls over and put another drop of turquoise and another drop of white. Okay. Wednesday night running group. I do not have any groups or anything. I'm kind of a solo actor, and I always have been. Especially when I'm learning something or I'm trying new things, I prefer to, like, do it myself. And then once I feel like, okay, I can do this, like, once I feel like I can do a decent pace, then maybe I could join, like, a running club or something. But I would probably look for a running club with some older people in it who do this kind of method so that I wouldn't feel... I really, honestly, wouldn't even prefer a club. I'd prefer just to have a running buddy, but I don't know who I could find to do that. Probably through a running club, right? We'll see. First, I have to try it out, see if I really like it. If I really like it, then that'll be exciting, because I used to be pretty fast when I was a youngster, but I never could run a whole mile. Like, I never ever could do it. I would really like to get to that point where I could, even if there were walk breaks when I needed them. Yeah, that's kind of what this walk, run, walk thing is, Thoramel, because he's just like, don't lift your feet very much, keep good posture, make sure your head isn't too far forward or back, and just take a lot of walk breaks. Just do, because then your knees are going to be fine. Like, you're not, his point is, like, if you're not lifting your feet very much, and you're taking, if you're doing 15 seconds on and 15 seconds off, you're not going to blow out your knees, and you can still run. Like... That was always my concern, because I'm carrying still these extra 40 pounds that I want to get rid of. So I was always like, all right, I don't want to, running could blow my knees out because I've got all this extra weight. So every additional impact is a little bit extra, right? But I'm really encouraged by this. Right, and it keeps your cardio sustained because your breaks aren't, that long, right? You're only doing a 15-second break. Sometimes he'll do like 22-11 or something like that, or, whatever he can. Doctor said he wanted to do a 2,000 calorie a day diet to maintain weight because of the energy it takes just to breathe anymore. Yep. That's really good, Twistoma. Yay, bone density. That is hard to do. Like, that's fantastic. Like, that's awesome. And I actually read something about, cystic fibrosis kids, like, a lot of the time in the past, their parents were counseled not to let them exercise because they had a hard time breathing. But scientists actually found that if they let the kids, like, run and walk, that the kids would slowly, like, build better breathing capacity. Like, they did better than if they were, like, kept from doing it. So your walking plan, I think, is really good just based on that. Thumbs up to you. That bone density gain is so exciting. That's hard to do. I'm so thrilled for you. That's great. You have a whole bunch of people, huh? That's good, Airways. Maybe I could find something like that. I mean, my CrossFit gym is like that, right? We have all sorts of people from all different walks of life. I understood that it was 2%. Cool. One of the ultra guys is in this. Yeah. See, that's what I want to be doing. I don't want to necessarily be doing ultra marathons, but I want to be able to just keep moving easily so that I can not, end up in heavily assisted living when I'm in my, mid 80s or earlier. I have a very poignant bad example to work from. My great aunt, or no, my regular aunt, my dad's sister, was, she struggled with her weight like I struggled with mine. A lot of people compared us, said I was very much like her, a lot when I was a kid. And she ended up, she didn't believe she could do it, so she never tried. And she passed away before she was 60. So I have that, there's always that in the back of my mind that I do not want to be there. So I'm going to work hard to see that I don't. Yeah, work. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, you have a lot of hiking. Yeah, a lot of yeah. Right, Thormel, right. Well, maybe, I don't know when you're aiming to retire or cut down, but maybe once you cut down a bit. Oh, yeah, carrying the backpack, because it's strength training. It's just like carrying a weight vest. You're doing what all these CrossFit people at my gym are too chicken to try. Twisted Oma, good job. You say weight vest and people go pale and take a step backward. Oh, nice, Gosu. Yep, walking, cutting down on sugar. Yep. That makes sense, yeah, when your back is messed up. But if you've lost a bunch of weight, you could try, I don't know if your doctor would okay it, putting in some strength training. I know strength training really helped my back, Gosu. I had really bad back spasms for a while there toward the tail end of my time at Reaper. And my physical therapist told me she didn't even want me doing a sit-up. No, not ever. Don't get up that way. Always roll onto your side to get up, right? So then I get to CrossFit, and, they just altered, the moves and made, used really low impact and, helped me to figure stuff out that would work around my back issue. And now I can do sit-ups. I can do 20 sit-ups without pain. So, depending on how bad your back is, obviously. But strength training really helped me. Oh, next thing, good. Yay! Yeah! Yay, Gosu! Go! That's so fantastic! I'm thrilled for you! Yay! I love to hear about people's successes. When your body quits working, Thormel. Well, if your knees give out, you might have to back off a little bit on how much you're doing. But then maybe you could have time for the running thing. The run, walk, run thing. Yeah, awesome. Inspiring stories about weight loss and bone density increase and getting past physical problems. Yes! I love you all. You're so fantastic. Yeah, just make sure to do weights. Yep, you don't have to do huge impact. I mean, I worked up to it, Zachariah, and a lot of times at CrossFit, we're doing multiple reps and multiple sets. And so the point is you go lighter on the weight because otherwise you're going to be blown out before you get, last night was 5 sets. 5 sets, and one of the things in each of the sets was 10 push presses, which is clean the bar up to here and then, do your presses. So I went for a 45 pounds, which for me is low these days if I was doing an actual weight strength, actually trying to build muscle. But yeah, you don't have to go to the gym. Yep. Well, now I have a little home gym, but I mean, I've got so little. I just got a barbell. I'm going to get a few more dumbbells. I'm going to get a weight bench soon. But right now I just have a barbell with my weights, dumbbells, a box to do box step-ups. Step-ups are really good. I have a kettlebell. Things like that. But I do a lot of just push-ups and air squats and sit-ups. Oh, bye, Thormel. Yeah, keep being awesome. But yeah, you don't need very much to start, and you can do a lot of presses and stuff just with a good pair of dumbbells. If you figure out, like, go to a... Actually, I would recommend, like, going to an actual, like, fitness store that sells dumbbells and, like, see how much feels comfortable to, like, one arm above your head and go with that, right? To start with. Ah, yeah, weights. Yep, yep. I feel like the thing we did last night was all arms. We did rowing for 250 meters, then kettlebell swings above your head, in my case, above your head with all of them. And I did 25 pounds there. And then, and that was 15 reps. And then we went and did the presses, the push presses for 10 reps. Then you got a minute of rest, and then you went back on the rower, and you did that 5 times. And my arms were noodles. Like, my tries were noodles by the end of that. Aerowiz. Right, exactly. But you know, when you're doing, because CrossFit is about a lot of reps, then when you throw the weight vest into that, you're just making it, like, it just feels like you just piled on a ton of effort, Shadow Raven. Sure, you used to, but think about it now. If somebody told you to put a weight vest on and run 400 meters now, what would you think? I'm willing to bet you'd take a step back. Yeah. Oh, the lats. Yep, it's the lats. But you know what? I'm working up to want to do a pull-up. That's my goal for CrossFit. Like, I would really, no matter what, I want to be able to do a pull-up. I've never been able to do one. An unassisted one. But I'll work up to it, right? So yeah, so the lats burning is a good thing. You feel tired just listening to that. Actually, the minute break really made it okay. Like, I love rowing. Rowing is my love cardio. Like, if there was ever a cardio that I really loved, it's rowing. I never thought that, but it honestly is. I get so happy when we have a workout with the rower in it. I wish I had the room for one. I would buy one in a second. But instead, it's running. But yeah. And I don't mind the kettlebell stuff. Although the kettlebell was arguably the hardest. And I really like push presses. Like, I think they're fun. So. It was actually, it was nice because when we were working up to the Memorial Day workout, it was all exercises I didn't like. Because the Memorial Day workout was all exercises I didn't like. So it's kind of nice and refreshing to be back on a normal rotation again, where I get exercises that I actually like. Oh, you splurged on a hydro. Oh, wow. Yeah, I am, because I'm seeing results. Like, I had a little bit of a plateau for a few weeks, this past few weeks, but now I'm starting to lose inches again. So my muscles are being activated and they're burning the fat off. Which is just makes me feel happy in general. I haven't lost any weight, but I'm maintaining a very solid, steady weight, and I'm losing inches. And that's what I want. And eventually the weight will start to go down, just because the muscle will get, you know, more than the fat. They'll hit a tipping point in there somewhere. As long as I watch what I eat. Oh, foldable rowing machine. Neat. Yeah, hydro sounds fun. Yeah, that's why, actually, this run, walk, run thing, Shadow Raven, I actually thought of you. I wondered if it could help you, because I know sometimes you wish you could get back to a standard of fitness, you know, that, because you were so fit when you were younger. I wondered if it might work for you, but I don't know. You're on the country, though, which I think, you know, it's great. You usually have a lot of, like, country roads, and those are, I used to love to bike and walk along roads near me that were really rural. Yeah. Nice. Kettlebells are your favorite weights? And you love your rowing machine? I'm going to write down the hydro. I want to look at it. I know it's probably not gonna, like, I know we have no room, but I can dream, right? Can I get it a car cover and put it out in the backyard? Can I leave it out in the elements if I do that? Oh. Yeah, exactly, Gosu. That's exactly it, right? Body recomposition. That's what I really want right now. I don't, yeah, a low body fat can kind of like, it's not as great. Like, I've just been reading like nutrition stuff about it. It sounds like a pain. It sounds like a pain to maintain low body fat because it can affect your blood sugar when you sleep and stuff like that. And so super low body fat, I don't think I'd ever want to be. But I want to see my abs, damn it. That's it. That's what I want. That's the goal. Even if there's a layer of fat over them, I want to be able to see them. A wild body fat story. Go for it. Yeah, right. Not carrying the utility ball everywhere. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I understand. All right, let's get some of this. Let's reinforce some of this gemstone, the facets here. I kind of etched them in. But I want to reinforce that and then start doing kind of what we're doing with the Crystal Dragon on my own personal stream, but putting these facets and things and shading and highlighting in them. So let's actually get to painting. I know we've been super, like, you know, excited talking about all this awesome progress you all are making, but... Hey, Slayer. Yeah, I think weights are the key, honestly, Zachariah. Because, like I said, like, I do watch that I don't, like, just totally shovel food into my maw anymore. Like, I do, like, loosely at least track calories. I eat the same thing pretty much for, like, lunch and breakfast, and that helps. Because once I know how many calories those things are, then I don't even have to think about them or track them. All I have to do is figure out, you know, what supper's going to be, which is usually when I change it up, because David. But, so as long as you aren't, like, totally, like, crazy eating, and you're doing the weights, like, that'll help. Like, that'll just start burning the fat off. It takes a while, but, I mean, everything takes a while, right? There is no insta-magic lose fat pill. Even though we'd all love one. Pro bodybuilder, such low body fat. Yeah, she didn't have the fat insulation to keep her warm. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. Like, I noticed that, I got cold, like before when I had lost weight on keto, I was 20 pounds lighter than I am now, and I would just get cold. Like, the air conditioning at Reapercon destroys me. Like, the air conditioning in Texas in general destroyed me. Like, I had to wear flannel to work in the summer in Texas. Enough said. I'm gonna put an extra line in here. So yeah, that's totally a thing. But now, actually what I found now is that I'm kind of at a nice balance point where my muscles, my metabolism is kicked up enough that I keep warmer than I used to be. But I do still feel colder, like when it's actually cold out. So I'm just going to kind of go down, and I'm not worried about making these lines ultra straight, guys. I'm just going to keep them more or less straight. More or less is close enough. When people are looking at this from a distance, they're not going to sit there and stare and say, oh, look, you made a curved line there, or a wobbly line there. And if it looks wobbly, we can always go back in with our blue and just kind of clean it up a little bit before we add in. Uh-huh. Well, that's all right. You can have a different goal, dog father. My goal is like to see abs because, like, I've just never seen them. I know they're there, and I always thought they were sexy. I think abs in a woman is sexy, so I'm just like, I want to be there. I want to. Yes, guys, I'm aiming to have a bikini body by the time I'm 55. Okay, let's just come out and say it. Actually, I would love to, like, have made significant progress by the time my family goes on its cruise this winter. And to wit, I am going to, like, tighten up on, like, keeping an eye on my diet. And it helps that I'm seeing progress, because then that motivates me to watch my diet a little bit more. You believe? Awesome, Gosu. Oh, I do. I've calced my energy intake pretty well, CHB, and I've gotten to the point where I've. The nice thing about the weight training, is that it has kind of like helped me with my my hunger, like my actual hunger sense is more realistic. Like the cravings are lower, and my actual sense of how full I am is more tuned. So yeah, I mean, I eat a decent amount. I'm aiming for... I was doing 1,750 calories every day, and in that I maintained. But I didn't lose, and I actually, like, gained a pound. I'm more aiming for a slight deficit so that I very slowly lose weight without losing muscle. And I've done some serious, like, deep information dives recently to determine that yes, that is totally possible. As long as you keep your protein high when you cut your calories, and you don't overcut your calories, you can maintain muscle mass and lose weight. So that's the sweet spot I'm aiming for. So now this month is 1,650 calories instead of 1,750. And I'm trying to keep that consistent. Though the con, of course, and other things have totally kind of screwed up that a little bit. Oh, I need to mix up my shadow color. I need the color to, like, line and shades, so that's actually my starting color plus a drop of walnuts. So I'm just going to do a whole new blob. Yay for girly abs. Yes! Well, everybody's got a different idea of sexy, Shadow Raven. That's totally true. But all that matters to me is my idea of sexy. David thinks I'm sexy already, so that's fine and all, but I'm sure he wouldn't complain if I suddenly got sexier. Although I did actually read a sad story on the Reddit the other day, the CrossFit Reddit, about a girl whose husband really does not like her CrossFit body. That's sad. It saddened me. It gave me a sad. So it does happen, but David is not, he's not a skin deep kind of guy, so I think he'll be fine. Baby Canada geeses. I do not like Canada geese. They're my anti-species. Like, if there was one species that if I never saw it again in the world, I would be happy. And that's just not meaning I want it wiped out. That's just meaning I don't want to ever encounter it again. It's Canada geese. They are vicious, evil things, and I don't like them. I'm not a geese fan. My grandparents had attack geese when I was a kid. That's the problem. That's the root of my geese hatred. Get an abs cam, no. Oh, funny. Oh my god, yeah, maybe you're just a goose whisperer. Kerniko. The only Canada goose I ever liked was goose that had they were born with it's actually the same gene that makes like a German Shepherd have a black muzzle or not have a black muzzle. It's in geese. And I found there was one that used to come down in Texas with this it didn't have the black gene, so it just had a tan head, like it didn't have the black marking. So the other geese kicked it out. And it ended up hanging out with the ducks because they're social animals, right? They need a group. But it was so lonely that it took a liking to an older couple that used to walk in our neighborhood. And so I would be driving along, coming home from Reaper, and I would see this older couple out for the walk, and there, right next to them, is the big Canada goose without the black markings. Just, they're walking their goose, essentially. Culture immigrant geese. Oh, okay. You have murderous geese also. Yeah. I liked the goose without the markings, though. Like, the fact that he had been outcast made him a much nicer goose. I'm just going to thin down my dark here just a little bit. My water is giving me issues. There it is. The geese are my thing that are just like not my favorite animal. But you're permitted to like them. They need champions because they don't have me. Alrighty, now I've got this color, my walnut mixed into my blue. I can trim these lines a bit. The ones that used to hang out in our neighborhood were super mean, except for a goose with tan head. All right, so crystals on these facets, you want the dark color near the top, just like when you're painting gemstones. And then toward the bottom of the facet is where you put your highlight. You want to kind of simulate the fact that light is entering the top of the crystal and bouncing around against occlusions that are behind all these fracture lines. So we will... I just reinforced my darks up there. Now I'll start getting some of these lighter colors. We'll do these two facets at the top to start with. And I've got my 3 levels of highlight mixed up, so I'm going to be working with those. Got to add a little water because I did add white to each of these, and that's going to make them lead brush strokes. Well, that's good. The tree trimming was timely. Hyper Buddy. Good timing. So I'm just kind of bringing up, you can see the fade. And you can make these patches of highlight irregular. You don't need to, if they get blotchy or something, that's actually okay because it's a crystal and it's probably going to have like occlusions and stuff. So holy crap, Cornico. Turkey-sized. That's not a small bird. So we'll go and highlight right up to our facet line. Well, we do ours every other year because the trees that we have are really fast growers. Although actually we did it late this year, and so they've just grown these really, really short branches, and I kind of like that. That means we really can just let them grow next year and not have to worry about trimming, because sometimes it seems like we're trimming them every year. We have a mulberry and it grows very, very fast. And then I think the one in the front yard is a pistache, and likewise. The goose weakness is the neck. Come on, Zachariah. You're more than a level 1 commoner. A house cat or bird cannot kill you. I hope. So that's like what I'm looking at. Oh yeah. I mean, the hawks are different though. Like, those talons can pierce bone. Like, they're made for that. You don't want to mess with birds of prey, for sure. You want to call professionals. But they're not going to ever attack you. Like, they're not going to go for you. You have to be dumb enough to put yourself in their way. If I want to, I could put an even lighter highlight in here, but I actually like this look. I want it to keep still in line with her hair and the bird, so I don't want it to go too light. I just want to have those touches of blue like we do on the highlights on the bird, and then on the crystal, I want to have that. So I'm going to preserve my... Also, the lighter I go with my highlight, the more it kind of fades into that white line, which is alright, but not really what I want, so... Here we're going to keep some shadow around the vine because it would definitely cast a shadow on the gem, so we'd probably get darker behind it. Oh, that's funny, Rico. So we're going to leave that shadow around the tendril. And just bring in our highlights on the bottom here. You might be able to get involved in something online like an educational community though, Shadow Raven. Like you could learn about it and help to educate people about that stuff. There's always something you can do. These days, especially with so much being digital. I'm just reinforcing my white lines here, guys. Since I painted over a little bit here and there with my blue. Holidays are terribly confusing, yes. That's funny, Piper Bunny. Yeah, I was used to go... I always like the Raptor shows. Yeah. That would be really good. Yeah, Kariniko. That's what I was thinking, is there would be courses or something. Because I'm sure you encounter wildlife where you are. Cool. Yeah, eagle owls are super, super awesome. I think they're my favorite kind of owl. All right, now I want to make sure. Oh, I do need more white lining. Sorry. Sorry. So this is just me taking it easy here. I'm just going slow. I'm just trying to assess whether it's the look I want. I want a little bit more here. So these thin lines, I just did that video for my Patreon guys on how to do long thin lines. So this is another example of how learning that technique is very useful when you can't just use the side of your brush to do an edge highlight and you have to do these facets that have mostly been made up by me. When you want to do something like this, this is when the thin lines technique comes in. That was a short video, but really useful. There's so many times on these models, once you get beyond the basics, that you're going to want to draw a thin line. So calling somebody a bird brain is just efficient. So really, really, Big Bird was just, you know, when he was called Bird Brain, it was just a compliment. Alrighty, let's keep going down and over here on the side. Cool, War Shadow. Glad you got something out of it. I think I will be doing one on stippling next month. Because the brush strokes, I mean, those are your two main brush strokes, really. Everything else is a variation on either even strokes or stippling. Unless you use a sideways stroke, which some painters do, but I don't. Yeah, it's Retribution, Kreniko. So I want to get these lines reinforced and then start working my way around. And I did get my green stuff out, so perhaps we'll do a little green work at the end of the video. Although if I'm really in the zone with this crystal, I might not. I might just keep crystalling. Might just keep crystalling. Oh, there's a little line that I forgot to do, so there is a facet right there on the corner. Trying to keep in focal length with this is interesting. Bigger models are always interesting on this camera because I'm like too close, far enough away, but it's like more awkward. Now here I've gotten my line too wide and uneven, so I'm going to be touching it up. I'll grab my dark and I'll touch it up on both sides. And I know that I can just layer my lighter colors over that dark, so by using that dark on both sides, I'm able to thin down this line and make it more even and straight. And any time that I'm trying to reinforce these lines and I blur a little bit, I can use that trick. So up here we're a little bit wobbly as well. Today I'm going to be doing videos, paint along, working on my paint along videos for the month. I should be able to finish the filming today. Yeah, Sharp-Shinned Hawk is the one we had on our back fence. Eyeing up our bird feeder, thinking it was breakfast. I would have been fine with that. Unless he ate a chickadee, then I would have been sad. Because I like the chickadees. And I like my tiny little wrens, too. But if he wants to take some of the house finches, I'm all for it. Although I did notice my little wren is the pickiest of birds. Like, the house finches are the greediest of birds. But the wren is the pickiest of birds. He pretty much just flung seeds out of there until he got exactly the seed he wanted. Normally he's a ground bird, but he's learned that my feeder, if there's no other birds up there, is more efficient for him. It is a bird feeder, he's a bird. I know, but like like the chickadees come and they're like, bloop, and then they're like, investigate, until they find what they want, and they go, bloop, seek and destroy, and then they either eat it on the thing or they fly off with it. But they like never waste seed. The chickadees are like the neatest little fastidious eaters. The only time they litter the ground is when they take a too big seed and try to eat it between their feet, and then a piece of it falls off because it's too big. But like, and the house finches are just greedy guts. They're just gobbling food so fast that it spills out both sides of their beaks. But the wren is just like, nope, sweep a bunch of seeds off, nope. It just showers down. There was a baby rat underneath the feeder, and it was just, the food was just hitting him and bouncing off of him. Poor little rat. Well, he was probably like, it's heaven. See, my stuff is mostly sunflower hearts. I don't know what he was finding that he didn't like. Just looking for the perfect seed. He brings his missus every once in a while, and that's adorable. Because he'll find a seed, and then he'll go to her and, like, feed her. Like, they'll split the seed. I think that's the dynamic anyway. It's the male-female dynamic. They look identical, so it's really hard to tell who's who. Yeah, my goldfinches like thistle. They like thistle sunflower mix. But I have lesser goldfinches, not greater goldfinches. And they're just opportunists. It's funny to see the personalities of all the different types of birds. What I found, Kuro, is that when I only did sunflower hearts, because I did try that. I tried going, like, you know, only sunflower hearts. I actually lost some of the birds. Like the juncos, which I actually like the juncos. They're cute. They brought their babies this past week. They were immature but Juncos with them, with the flock. But I really like my Juncos. They're the brown ones with the little black heads. But they're all almost all ground feeders. And they really like some of the seeds the other birds toss overboard. So when I didn't have those seeds, they just dried up. They disappeared. They went elsewhere. I really loved my Juncos. Yeah, we don't get any bigger birds in our side here, except for we do have a pair of mourning doves now, which I'm happy. I always like doves. I know some people think they're annoying and dumb, but I think they're really pretty birds. So, and their noises don't bother me. So we have a couple doves, and we've got the California towhee, which is what I call the fat bird, the California fat bird, which are brown and orange, brown with like little orange bits. And they are very, very ungainly, but they run really fast. I'm afraid Kiki had too much fun at the baby Junco's expense yesterday. There was one that looked like a younger female, and she was really curious, and she hopped right up to the glass on our back door. And Kiki was like, wham, with her paw, and the bird was like, whoa! It was out of there. It was amusing and sad. I'm like, Kiki, you're not supposed to, like, scare the birds. She knows, too. She knows she's not supposed to scare the birds, but one gets too close, God help it. She's like, you birds are okay as long as you keep your distance. But after that, I'm not into it. Oh, interesting, yeah. Yeah, those are my main birds. We've got our house finch clan, the red birds, and then we have our lesser goldfinches, our Bewick's wrens, our chickadees, our mourning doves, our towhees. Those are pretty much our guys. We had titmice, but they're just scared off by the more, like, they're really shy. So, like, I only ever see them if, like, I forget to fill the bird feeder and then I fill it again, but it's too soon and the birds haven't come back to it yet. They haven't noticed. And then I'll see those little grayed birds with the tufts on their heads. But that's the only time. And my stripy head sparrows have all disapparated. They're obviously migratory. So hopefully they come back next winter. Yep, have fun, Shadow Raven. Alright, so we got those nice sharp lines. Now I can start doing my shadows and my highlights. Although I do need to touch up this guy up on the top. There. Just going to make sure my darks are up here near the top, so I'm going to bring my really dark mix in. With these side facets, I'll try to make a really thin line of shadow and then some highlight. If you have the light coming from a particular direction, you can use that. So if her light was from the front, we could do shadow on this side toward the front and then a highlight toward the back. But it's kind of like overhead. I'm doing just a general overhead highlight here, so we'll just try to do a truncated version of what we're doing elsewhere. Or I can make these top facets a lighter color. That's probably a better call. This is our mix with walnut in it, just to put a nice dark shadow at the top. we go. Let's do that. All right, highlights. That's okay, Twisted Oma. Well, we'll be doing the cool, tomorrow's mini is our cool experimental mini. I'll probably do the skin tomorrow. I'm thinking I'll do the skin, maybe the leather. We can concentrate again on the front. So, but you can always catch the VOD. That was a little bit too high on there, but I'll let it darken as it dries and see how I'm going. So this upward facing one, I think I'm just going to do a lighter color in general. And on the side, we're going to do dark top, light bottom. There we go. And the less paint you have on your brush, the easier you're going to find to blend some of this stuff. Because the more paint you have on the brush, the more thick it will tend to be when you're trying to do these darks. I want a little bit more dark here. Bring that in. And it is more interesting if I start putting in, you see that's kind of boring. So if I wanted to do, I could do more facet lines. That's why I find sometimes this is more fun. So hold on, let's just do that. Let's put in a artificial detail. And usually I'll just do an angle. Because otherwise these big flat spaces, they're so big. They're tiny on the 28mm, so you won't need to do this. But on the big model, they're just so big that they can get a little boring. And you can benefit by creating some more interest. Oh. little bit blobby there at the end, but that's okay. I can go back and correct it. I want to make this line a little stronger first, though. Do a couple here. And that looks a lot more fun right there. A lot more variety. Then I need to re-add a shadow here. Now that this is the top instead of the bottom. How's your hubby doing with the treatments, Twisted Oma? Still good? I know that stuff can be hard. Oh no. I kind of like those days. Where it's like, well, I can't come to work. I have to wait for this dude. Then you kind of get a day kind of off, but you can feel like unguilty about it. On the other hand, kind of sucks because, you know, refrigerator. It's always sad to have your refrigerator on the fritz. We got lucky with ours not having to replace it last time. We're hoping it holds out for a few more years. So I'm going to clean up some of this stuff and refine it after I get these bottom highlights in. There, that looks okay. Oh, right. Oh, that sucks, yeah. Bad timing, always. So I painted over a little bit of my white lines there, but I can reinforce those. Still good as far as the doctor's concerned. Yeah, I think reactions are pretty common, right? That can be frustrating. Yep. Yep, it's the only thing you can do. Just keep going. Keep going and get through it. Well, good. Fingers crossed for him, Twisted Oma. And actually, this is a small ledge, so I'm going to add a line there. Yeah, tell him to hang in there. I'm sure he's hanging in.
Yeah. Hopefully, how much longer do his treatments last, Twisted Oma? Or is it just like you don't know until you see how he responds? But hopefully, yeah. I know you were planning to come to Reapercon, so I hope that you can all make it. That's looking pretty cool. Trim out my lines there a little bit. Now we'll start adding highlights. I think I'm kind of in the zone on this. I don't know. I think we're probably going to just do this and not do green stuff today. But that's okay, because I still have a little bit of crystal left to do that we won't finish today, so we can finish that crystal and then do some green stuff at the end of next time we were on the Sophie. Really want to do the green at the end of a stream so that it has time to set and I'm not having to avoid it as I paint. Every 6 weeks. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you guys are about as old as my parents. So my mom is struggling with recovering from her back surgery. I'm trying to encourage her as much as I can. Although I think she started physical therapy. I have to touch base with her and find out. Hopefully those physical therapists will tell her she needs to lift some weights. Can I call my parents' physical therapist and, like, you know, lecture them on what they should be saying to my mother? I wish. Although the problem is, I don't think they really don't eat much protein either. And you can lift a lot of weights, but if you're not eating enough protein, then you aren't going to really build muscle, sadly. It's a two-pronged approach. Howdy. Howdy, Luca. How's it going? And it's Luca Day. Well, that's good. We definitely don't have time for green work then. We will just finish doing a little bit of highlighting on this, and then we will turn it over to the Alpaca Nation. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. My workouts are going good, and I'm Losing inches again, which always makes me happy. Progress makes me happy when it comes down to it. It's almost the end of the month and I'm not stressing out. That's another good thing. So yeah, pretty darn good, actually, Luca. You prefer gaining inches. There's our Luca. You knew he was gonna say something anyway, Twindy. It was just like inevitable. I'm just like giving him the opening so that he can... and there's another one. You just can't win with Luca, really. Everything is a double entendre. Like, the only way to win is to keep your mouth shut. Then you only get half of the insanity. Oh no! A herd of alpacas with bird flu. That doesn't sound fun. That's definitely a sad alpaca story. Trim up this line. So I was looking at Sebastian Archer's website yesterday, and actually he's got a few models I really like. He was David. It was funny because I told David I was like on there, and he's like, "Wait, he was a painter. I'd never seen him sculpt anything up over like 28mm," and I'm like, "No, he's doing busts." Now David's like, "You need to buy one of these and one of those." There's some pretty cute ones. Actually, there's one cute one. I really like his do I still have the website up? Can I show you? Let's see. Yeah. Let's get down to her. I really like his tea vendor. It's based on artwork. But it's really cute. She's really cute. I've got to blur you there. She's like got a teapot on her head and she's got a tiny teacup. I really love it. I might have to buy it. It's whimsical. I like whimsy. Alright, I guess it's time to... Yeah, she is cute. So I was thinking I would buy that one. He's got a couple other nice ones too. He does more sinister kind of stuff. But he has like that one cute piece. I really like his dwarf academic busts. Of course, Luca doesn't need any more dwarves. But yeah, so we may be putting in an order to Australia. Apparently, if you buy 3 things, you get free worldwide shipping. So I might have to buy 3 things. Luca loves dwarves. The post-traumatic dwarf syndrome. Or you would PTDS. All right. We're going to let Luca actually start on time, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we're going to be doing cool art stuff with our blue and yellow underpainting tomorrow. I'll probably get to work on the skin and the leather. Maybe we'll work a little bit more on the back as well, since we have still a lot of that blue and yellow underpainting showing through on the back. Yeah, so that's what we'd be working on tomorrow. I hope you have a lovely stream, Luca. And you guys have a good day, and I'll see you then, all right? Bye-bye.